Hi everyone and welcome back to Warrior's Journey. So let's pick up where we stopped in the last episode. So I was having an angiogram to check the final result of the gamma knife radiation 3 years after doing the radiation. And I was very anxious about it and I requested to get live feed from the radiologist while he was doing it. And he gave me the bad news that he can still see an AVM and it was a pretty big one. Honestly, I wasn't hoping for the AVM to be obliterated because I knew that you cannot treat a big AVM with radiation only. But I was hoping to hear that it was small and that there was 50, 60, 70% reduction in size. And the rest I can deal with either with a second dose of radiation or embolization or anything. But that wasn't what he told me. He told me that he can see a big AVM, and that was a really bad news. But I decided to wait until I hear from my radiation doctor. So after the angiogram, I tried to leave the hospital or get discharged, but they refused to discharge me and said you need to wait until tomorrow. So the second day I was discharged from the hospital, and the day after I went to my radiation doctor with my images and everything, and I've given him the images and we checked the images and everything, and the conclusion was that the FEM is pretty much the same. There is a bit of change in the structure of the FEM, but the size it's almost the same. And I was told that I need a second round of radiation. Of course, at that time, I knew that this wasn't the answer and that radiation is not a correct solution, and that this is not the right treatment. The right treatment was in the very beginning to do first embolization to reduce the size and then to do radiation to obliterate the AVM. But to treat a large AVM with gamma knife only is very unlikely to succeed. So he told me we need to do a second round of radiation, and I said, okay, I'll come back later. Of course, I wasn't coming back or anything because I knew that this is not the right sort of treatment to be done. Anyway, the second day I got a call from the radiation doctor and they asked me to come back to the clinic because they have news for me. So I went back and they told me that they double checked the images and they found an intranidal aneurysm. And that I need to embolize the aneurysm first and then we can do the radiation. Of course, I wasn't going to do the radiation anyway. But anyway, when they said intranidal aneurysm, I was a bit extra worried. And they told me to go to a radiologist to speak with him about embolization and everything. So I went to a radiologist because I was very concerned about the aneurysm. And we checked the images together, and he told me that it can be embolized with no issues, and then if you want to do radiation, it's up to you. Of course, this was the correct solution at the beginning 3 years earlier, but now I wasn't very convinced to do this, and I wasn't honestly convinced in the qualifications of the physicians who would do it, especially the radiation doctor. If he was anywhere near qualified enough, he would have known that you cannot treat the size of an AVM with the radiation only. And he doesn't even have statistics to prove that he treated many big AVMs with radiation only and it worked. So I decided to start looking at things on my own. So I started taking my images and visiting doctors I know here in Jordan to see if the aneurysm really exists or not. And it was sort of a debate. Some say there's an aneurysm, some say there isn't an aneurysm. It wasn't very clear, to be honest. So I decided to start looking outside the border of Jordan because I was giving up on finding answers here in Jordan. So I started writing to medical institutions around the world. I wrote to the United States, the United Kingdom, and Germany, Turkey, the Netherlands, India, many places. And I started receiving answers from many of them. And I will start with everything, then I will come to Germany. The United States, I received an answer from the best neurological institute in the world, supposedly. It's called Barrows Neurological Institute. And they said they can treat it with surgery, which is something I never heard before. They can embolize it first, and then they can resect it. I was told that resection was out of question, but in the United States they have the sufficient technology and knowledge to remove this sort of aneurysm. So they told me they can do it, but the price tag was unbelievably high. It was around 360 to $380,000, which is unbelievably high. So I can't begin to think to do something that expensive. So I scrapped that solution because it was very expensive, and I started looking at other solutions. I received answers from the UK suggesting radiation, from India suggesting embolization, then they will figure out what to do. But that wasn't enough for me because I want someone to give me a complete treatment plan, not I will figure out that later. I don't want anything to be figured out later. So I scrapped the answers from India. I received an answer from Turkey stating that there is no intranodal aneurysm, and this AVM can be treated with radiation, and we can do it with radiation. And I also received an answer from the Netherlands, and they suggested to do embolization first and then do the radiation. And that was a good solution, to be honest, because when you reduce the size, it's easier to obliterate it with the radiation. It's as easy as that. But I received a couple of answers, a few to be honest, from Germany. And Germany was finally the place I decided to go on with my treatment with, because I don't think I have time to go through this in this episode, but we will go through it in the next episode. But anyway, the answers I received from Germany were between there is an intranodal aneurysm or there is not. And treatment suggestions were either embolization, then radiation, or 2 doses of very high radiation. And everyone agreed that the radiation treatment that I received was not right, and that the radiation dose I was given was high, and it was better if I wait until 5 years pass before I do any other radiation treatment. So 3 passed, I had to wait 2 more to do any radiation treatment. And one of the answers I received is the answer I went with eventually was to do something called dual catheterization. It's an embolization that is done through 2 catheters, one arterial and one venous. It's called transarterial and transvenous embolization. It's a very innovative way. It's not done in many places around the world, and it's the solution I finally picked up to do my treatment with, because the doctor gave me everything I needed. I was given statistics, I was given numbers, and I like numbers. So if you want to convince me, give me the numbers I need and the statistics I need to go ahead with you. And the doctor who performed it, I will tell you everything about it, is a great person and a great physician as well. So I will get to the rest of everything in the next episode, hopefully. And I will stop here now and I will see you next episode. Thank you. Bye.